Alright, so Anthropic just launched Claude for healthcare, and what they revealed at the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference is absolutely mind-blowing. Let me tell you about that insane time reduction I mentioned. Novo Nordisk, one of the biggest pharmaceutical giants on the planet, started using Claude for their clinical study documentation. Before Claude, this process took over 10 weeks. After implementing Claude, just 10 minutes. Louise Linskov, their director of content digitalization, said this is setting a completely new standard for how medicines move from discovery to patients. But here's the thing. Novo Nordisk is just the beginning of this story. Let me introduce you to Banner Health. This is a massive health system in America, operating 33 hospitals and 400 clinics across 6 states. They serve over 1.2 million health plan members. And they built something incredible called BannerWise, an enterprise AI platform powered by Claude Sonnet 4.5. Now get this, they deployed it to over 55,000 employees. And the results? 85% of those users reported significant time savings alongside improved accuracy. But what really blew my mind was this. Oncology chart preparation, the kind of detailed and complex medical work that used to take 8 hours per patient, now takes just minutes. Since June 2025, they have processed over 1,400 oncology clinical notes through this system. Mike Regan, their chief technology officer, specifically said they chose Claude because of Anthropic's focus on AI safety. He mentioned something called constitutional AI, which is an approach designed to make AI more helpful, harmless, and honest. For a health system handling sensitive patient data, that trust factor was absolutely critical. Now I know what you are thinking. Sure, it is fast. But can an AI actually understand complex medical situations? Can it be accurate enough for something as important as healthcare? Well, the research data tells a shocking story. A study published in Nature Digital Medicine in 2025 examined challenging gastroenterology cases. Claude 3.5 Sonnet achieved 76.1% diagnostic accuracy. The 22 human physicians in that same study? They averaged just 29.5%. Claude outperformed every single doctor in that study. Let that sink in for a moment. For radiology cases from the Diagnosis Please quiz series, Claude 3. Opus achieved 54% accuracy on primary diagnosis. That is significantly higher than other AI models tested. And on complex diagnostic cases from the New England Journal of Medicine, Claude achieved 49.5% accuracy compared to just 27.4% for human medical journal readers. Now, before anyone thinks AI is about to replace doctors, let me be very clear. These impressive numbers come with important context. There is still around a 30% error rate on certain medical benchmarks, so Claude is not ready to make autonomous clinical decisions on its own. But for supporting physicians and handling administrative workflows, the results are genuinely remarkable. And speaking of administrative work, let us talk about something that affects every single doctor and nurse on the planet. Documentation. Physicians spend an absolutely insane amount of time on paperwork. It is one of the biggest complaints in healthcare. Doctors want to help patients, not type notes all day, and Claude is changing that dramatically. A company called Commure powers AI scribing for tens of millions of medical appointments. They report that providers using Claude-powered documentation save an average of 90 minutes per day. Think about that. 90 minutes every single day that doctors can now spend actually seeing patients instead of typing notes. At Medical City Dallas, part of HCA Healthcare, physicians generate 5,000 notes every week with an 18% reduction in documentation time. A company called Compassus deployed Claude across 8,000 nurses in 35 states and achieved 70% time savings in home health workflows. Dr. Palakurthy at Dignity Health saves up to 3 hours per day in the office, plus an additional 4 hours every weekend that was previously spent on documentation. These are not projections or estimates. Now let us address something crucial. Healthcare data is incredibly sensitive. So how exactly is Claude handling security and privacy? Claude for Healthcare is Anthropic's first HIPAA-compliant offering. For those unfamiliar, HIPAA is the strict American law protecting patient health information. They have business associate agreements available for enterprise and API customers. The security architecture is seriously impressive. They have SOC 2 Type 1 and Type 2 certification, which is the gold standard for enterprise security audits. They have ISO 27001 certification for information security management. All stored data uses AES 256 encryption, and everything in transit uses TLS 1.2 encryption. But here is the really important part that I want you to understand. Anthropic explicitly states that they do not use user health data to train their models. Health data is completely excluded from Claude's memory. Users can disconnect or edit their permissions at any time. Your medical information stays private. And Claude is the only frontier AI model available on all three major cloud platforms: Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure. This gives healthcare organizations the flexibility to deploy within whatever infrastructure they already use. Now let me tell you about the life sciences applications, because this is where things get really exciting for the future of medicine. Claude for Life Sciences launched in October 2025 and has expanded to support the full research and development lifecycle. A company called Flatiron Health does oncology research with Claude, and their analysis produced nearly identical real-world survival estimates compared to trained human researchers across 14 different cancer types. For clinical trial protocol development, Anthropic demonstrated Claude drafting a Phase 2 protocol for a hypothetical Parkinson's drug. The design time dropped from many days to about 1 hour, while still including endpoint recommendations, regulatory pathways, competitive landscape analysis, and FDA guidelines. Major pharmaceutical companies have partnered with Anthropic. We are talking about Eli Lilly, Sanofi, AbbVie, Genmab, and AstraZeneca. Emmanuel Frenehard, Sanofi's chief digital officer, said Claude is integral to their AI transformation. He mentioned they are seeing efficiency gains across the entire value chain, helping deliver life-changing medicines faster and more efficiently to patients worldwide. Apple Health and Android Health Connect integrations allow Claude to analyze fitness and health metrics from your smartphone and wearables. When connected, Claude can summarize your medical history, explain test results in plain language, detect patterns across your health metrics, and even help you prepare questions for your doctor appointments. Eric Kauderer-Abrams, Anthropic's head of life sciences, described Claude as the orchestrator of fragmented healthcare data. You can integrate your personal information with your medical records and insurance records, and have Claude simplify and navigate the whole confusing healthcare system for you. Now I need to be honest about the limitations, because this matters. Anthropic's policy requires that a qualified medical professional must review any content or decision before it is finalized for healthcare decisions, diagnosis, or patient care. This is not just a suggestion. It is a mandatory usage requirement. If you found this video valuable, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The AI healthcare revolution is accelerating faster than anyone expected, and you definitely do not want to miss what comes next. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.